Welcome, Kiwi music fans, for our weekly show that podcasts every Tuesday, 7 p.m. New Zealand time. So, kia ora. Take a nice, comfy seat and listen to some New Zealand tunes today. We've got two singer-songwriters joining our podcast this week. We've got Madeline, who has an exclusive release 3 days before the official release. You heard it here on kiwiradio.nz. We'll be unlocking that song in the next 15 minutes, and then straight on to our second guest for today, Keely Shade. So I asked Madeline what her favorite Kiwi song is, just to kind of kickstart the show with a bit of fun, and it's her friend. Didn't lie. Is that right, Madeline? Is this a friend exclusive or something? Tell us about the artist.
So Siobhan, I've known since probably about 10 years now. We went to high school together, and she is one of my best mates, and I just think she's super talented. And even if she wasn't my best mate, I would think she's super talented. She's an amazing songwriter, and she has just been really inspiring for me, even as an artist and also a friend. So, yeah.
Oh, well, that's really good. We'll play that now, and we're excited to, announce your new single. Do you want to give us a little teaser?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So this is my upcoming single, Consume, that comes out on Friday. It's my first solo single. Years and toured and stuff. So going solo has been terrifying, but I'm super, super excited, and I'm very, very proud of it. So.
We are so lucky to have the exclusive a few days before the official release. Madeline, welcome to the show. Keely Shade, welcome as well. She's in the green room, so stick around for that. Didn't lie.
I'm coming up, save me. Biscuit on daily, dripping down, I watch you from the ceiling. You let me fall, so I fall, taking fall, tracing. Those things just swore amazing. First foot forward, done tasting. Open that door, that door. It's so sweet, sweet, you'll not be guilty. Without touching, I feel the blood surging. Only the free freak of love to me. Without you near me. But you didn't lie, baby. Losing your mind, maybe. Open your mouth, can you taste me? Where the shit don't face me. Eyes rest on my body, but I feel your breath when you call me. You're like giving me just how you want me. Oh, you want it all, it all. Know who you are, know who you are, know who you are, know who you are, know you are. It's so sweet, sweet, you'll not be guilty. Without touching, I feel the blood surging. Call me that free, free good, let love heal me. Without you near me. It's so sweet, sweet, you'll not be guilty. Without touching,
Very cool. Okay, that is didn't lie. Now, Madeline, welcome back to the show. You actually recorded a little stinger for us, which was awesome when people do that.
Yeah.
Gonna play it right now. Hang on a second. It sounds so pro. Hang on a second.
.nz. You can catch my latest single, Consume, out next Friday, the 7th of October on all streaming platforms.
Okay, yeah. So in 3 days' time, but we have it here. So let's get some excitement going. Has this been a long time coming for you?
I would say probably since I was 6 and I performed live for the first time. I've wanted to do this. So over 20 years, I guess, of dreaming of doing this.
Oh
so yeah,
God.
Very long time coming.
This specific song or just the songwriting in general?
That's a really good question. I think the songwriting I've kind of always done since I was young, whether or not I knew it at the time. I come from a family of writers and musicians, so I've always written, just whether or not it was a song. I've just always been writing. I always have a notebook and I always have ideas. And I really owe a lot of that to my grandfather in particular. He was a poet. And so, yeah, I think that's probably where it came from. But this song in particular definitely is pretty poignant because I think it is kind of one of those songs where it kind of just writes itself, and it kind of just, it happened in about 5 minutes, and yeah, all the pieces were just there. It was a poem I had for about 3 years sitting in a notebook, and that was it.
Okay, so what kind of space were you at in those 5 minutes? It must have been pretty life-changing. Were you online shopping at the time and had everything in your cart, and then you're like, you know what, consuming is just not for me? What's going on in your mind?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think I was probably quite reflective, definitely. And I think I just got some new music gear and I was just wanting to play with it and kind of, as you do when you're a musician and you just want to learn how to use everything. And I finished watching Romeo and Juliet from Baz Luhrmann like the millionth time because it's one of my favorite movies. Movies really inspire me in general. And I love Shakespeare. So I kind of wrote the hook and added it to the poem around that and just wrote the bass line and everything and added it all in together, and that's what you hear. But I think, it was very reflective.
Okay.
Probably more than anything else. I don't really remember. It was really a blur, honestly.
Now, are you a big fan of Shakespeare?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Shakespeare. Again, that is thanks to my grandfather. I could talk about my grandfather forever.
That'll be in the next episode then.
Yeah.
When we go under the skin with Madeline.
Yeah.
Storytelling till midnight. No, but here's a fun factoid for you. I played Oberon, the King of the Fairies, in Midsummer Nights in my high school.
No, that's great. Oberon's such a great character. So that was, I think, the first Shakespeare play I ever saw was Oberon, and my cousin. It was Midsummer Night's Dream, and my cousin played Oberon. Yeah, such a good role.
Yeah, well, I was 17 at the time, had blonde fake hair and sparkly. Well, anyways, King of the Fairies. That was super fun. Now, have you done any Shakespeare yourself?
I actually have. So I did a lot of acting in high school, and I went to the National for Shakespeare competition in high school. So yeah, I played Desdemona in Othello for that, which was really cool. And yeah, and I played Hermione in A Winter's Tale, so that was really cool as well.
Has there been are you a big fan of theatre? If so, has there been any really good ones in New Zealand that you've seen recently?
Okay, I'm a huge fan of theatre, and I have to say I spent the beginning of this year in Australia, and I got to go and see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and Harry Potter is my life. That was amazing. And I also saw Hamilton finally.
I love that musical. Yeah,
I love that show. So I was very, very lucky to travel at the time because our borders were shut, but also see some amazing shows in general, not just theatre. Yeah, super lucky.
Speaking of theatre, I have a really good friend from Dusty Room Productions currently touring Australia with their amazing, fantastic, beautiful, authentic, and dark, tragically human and insightful play called Alone. Basically, two women get stuck in a spaceship, and it's all in the soundtrack of David Bowie. It's really good.
Oh, that's the dream. David Bowie's everything. Oh, I need to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell them to bring it back.
Yeah, well, they did play New Zealand. I think it was when I watched it. It was in Auckland. It was at Motat, and they had planes and stuff in the background. So it was like such a cool setting.
When was this?
It was a few months now. I want to say it's probably even maybe even a few years. But if you are in Australia, they're currently touring there with that show. With So that's
so
cool. Fringe Festival they're currently doing. And it was good. Now, Madeline, this is a pretty short and sweet interview because you got the one song Consume. But what's next for you creatively?
Sure. So I'm still in the process of recording a full EP. So I have 2 more songs ready to go, and one of them will be released before the end of the year at least, which is awesome. I'm recording with Jake Stokes, who's an amazing producer in Wellington, so back and forth between here and there. I'm currently in Christchurch. I also, my band,
Christchurch,
are based in Auckland because I lived there for 9 years and studied there. And we've got a couple of tours happening, which is really awesome. But that's obviously quite separate to this, but very excited. And I'm playing a release show down here in Christchurch on the 3rd of November.
Christchurch, you beautiful thing. 3rd of November. You are lucky because you can see Madeline live. Where is the venue?
Dark Room. So center of. Yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be a really great night. Cool. I've got some support acts as well lined up, so it'll be great.
I'm so excited for you. It looks like things are just getting started with you this year. Wishing you all the best with all your music endeavors. Anything else?
Just thank you very much for having me. It's been really, really great. And I'm so excited to finally get this all out and have the video out and everything like that. So it'll be amazing.
Keep me in touch. And you've got my email, my number. And if there's any releases or announcements, we'd love to plug you, as we do with all our musicians every week. If you love New Zealand music, we are blessed with talent here in Aotearoa. And the podcast to kind of listen to every week is this one, kiwiradio.nz. Madeline, thank you for being on the show. Stay cool, stay creative.
Thank you so much. You too, thank you.
Here's the brand new single a few days before official launch. Madeline with Consume. Go check her out. JustMadelineMusic3.bandcamp.com.
But you're never stone cold sober when we make love. You're too afraid that I'll tell you what she told ya, and say that I don't want ya anymore. I'm stagnant, but I'm 4 years older, given all my time, repenting for a crime, and you're too afraid to choose. But love isn't love if you have to prove. And I don't think you know how to love when you just consume. You consume. I tear myself open a little more. What in the hell am I fighting for? When you just consume, I got a grudge against you. Yeah, you're in my head, taking up space while you're paying no rent. And I wish I didn't give a fuck. God knows they're all spent. I pull away and you feel used. And this doesn't make no sense, because love isn't love if you have to prove no. And I don't think you know how to love when you just consume. When you just consume. Oh. I tear myself open a little more. What the hell am I fighting for? When you just
consume.
Guess we can still say we made it through. So this one's for you. I only want what's best for you. I do. Maybe one day you want that for me too. Consume, won't be consumed. Won't be consumed by you.
The sweetest honey is loves in its own deliciousness. Therefore, loves moderately.
New Zealand-born singer-songwriter Madeline with her brand new track Consume, bringing an honest, seductive, and thought-provoking neo-soul infused with pop sound. Great to have her on the show today. Up next, we have Keely Shade on the phone right now. Keely, you are live. Welcome to the show. Welcome to kiwiradio.nz.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Now, you sound like you've got an accent. Am I right?
You are right. I'm from Canada originally, but I've been here 16 years, I think. It's sticking around.
Wow. Okay, that's a big surprise to me. I thought you were 100% Kiwi. That was the criteria of the show, by the way. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
My dad's Kiwi, and yeah, grew up here.
Your dad's Kiwi. Okay, that'll do. Yep, you passed the test. So from Canada to New Zealand, when did that happen? When did that all happen? When did you come to NZ?
2004, I think. I was 8.5. Dad wanted to come on back home. So we did, and yeah, grew up in Whangaparoa, up on the coast, and been here since.
Whangaparoa. Okay, cool. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, and musically, that is.
Musically, okay. So I started releasing songs about 1.5 years ago. I originally went through art and film school and did a bit of music, and kind of fell into a group of musicians who introduced me to gigging and writing and recording. And so, yeah, now we're just like full swing in that. I'm also a TV editor, so doing both at the same time.
TV editor, what does that mean?
So for Warner Brothers, we make reality television. I'm the person who puts that on the TV.
Wow. Okay. I used to be in the TV industry myself as well as radio. But yeah, I was a traffic coordinator, which is a fancy word of saying, here are all the ads that we've sold, put them in order.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really important. I had to make sure like two competing companies weren't clashing, that kind of thing. Yeah, top and tail the ads. Yeah, that was good times. So that's cool. That's a really fascinating intro to the show. We're very excited to have your music today. Any exclusives, much like Madeline?
A little bit of exclusive. I haven't announced it yet, but upcoming single end of this year hasn't been announced whatsoever, but I'll give you the name of it right now. Restless in November. Keep an eye out.
Oh my God. I am such a good music reporter. I like just ask the right questions to kind of get what the pressing news. And you heard it here first on kiwiradio.nz. Where can we find you online? You mentioned
online. Everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Bandcamp, YouTube. I have a new music video out if you want to go check that out on YouTube.
What was the music video?
Oh, that's for my song On My Mind, which came out last year. That was my single. And yeah, get a beautiful music video with some awesome creatives.
Oh, that's so cool. We have On My Mind in the playlist today, the very final song. So we'll lead up to that. And I'll ask you a little bit about how the music video went and all those good things. We're going to start off with your first song called Don't Keep Driving. Tell us a little bit about it.
About Don't Keep Driving. Oh, it's been a while now. So I worked on that with Max Earnshaw and Luan Meeker a bit, and James Fisnich was big in recording kind of guitars and stuff like that, and so we worked together on arrangement, and it has a nice slow intro, and then gets into it. I don't know, that one was just really easy to write. I was just in my room one day thinking about holding on to something that you shouldn't hold on to, and just kind of keeping yourself stuck in not a great situation for the fear of not having anything, I guess. And yeah, that's when into that song.
Welcome to the show. That is Keely Shade on the phone. We're going to chat to her straight afterwards with two more songs. KiwiRadio.nz. Hello to upfm.co.nz. Simulcast on that station as well.
Quiet when I heard your voice, breaking on a breath, beating in my chest, smash, putting on a face for sure. Now every time you're slipping through my fingers, I'm losing all the things that I hold. Shake me even though I break, leave me in the rain, drown me in the pain, splash, hoping I don't let you know. Every time I'm creeping to the past, 'cause I'm too afraid of just letting go. Don't keep driving, I'll settle my dead feet. Don't keep hiding, I'll tell myself to proceed. Your phone keeps burning, I'll take a torch, I'm done, I'll burn with you. Don't keep driving and confirm I already know. Sitting there, it felt so cold. I'm sitting on the stairs I wasn't prepared for. Shatter that came with the blow. Now every night I'm watching sparks turn into fast. Shut off fast, don't know where to go. Keep driving, sitting my dead feet. Keep quiet, I'm telling myself to proceed. Your phone keeps burning, I'll take a torch, I'm down on burn. Don't keep driving and confirm what I already know. I wanna lie with you. Don't move if it's not towards me. Door closed, the sky went blue. Every day that you right through, but tonight I wanna lie with you. Don't move if it's not towards me. Door closed, the sky went blue. Every day that you right through, but don't keep driving. Settle my dead feet. Don't keep hiding, I'll tell myself to the sea. The phone keeps burning, I'll take a torch, I'm down on burn. Don't keep driving and confirm I already know.
KiwiRadio.nz. That is Keely Shade. Good morning to Kiwi music from Germany. Oh, you know this person?
Yeah, what a legend.
What a legend. Guten Tag, Germany.
I always turn up to my stuff, but it's really cool. Hey, man.
Yeah, I've been to Berlin for 3 days. That was my experience with Germany. What about you? Any been? Well, you're from Canada, but have you
Yeah.
graced the land that is Europe?
I haven't. I've been talking about it like all year. And because I went from like school to uni for 5 years to working for 3 years. And so I've never gotten to go to the OE thing, but maybe next year.
There's plenty of time.
Oh.
Speaking of time, your next song is called "Give Me Time." What a cool segue! I so didn't
I know,
plan
I was
that.
about to say, that was an exceptional segue.
Dude, I should get extra points for just being on the nail with the segues. Sometimes my segues are just not on point, but this one is. So, you are a musician, but you're also all sorts of creative goodness. I hear you make music videos for other people, concept photography, graphic design, and I believe you design all your content for the releases, cover art, and posters.
Yeah.
What don't you do?
Act. I'm not great at acting.
So no Shakespeare soliloquies tonight?
No, not like Madeline.
That was Madeline, I know. I was hoping for a bit of Shakespeare monologue from you, but that's okay. You are super talented by the sounds of your music. Really enjoyed that. Who are your influences?
There's a lot of them. Kind of growing up, really big into Bon Iver and Daughter, a lot of folk stuff. Nowadays, more like still them, but more production and rock sound, like Stan Fender, Holly Humberstone, Maggie Rogers. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love Bon Iver. Yeah, good times. What about in terms of Canadian music? Is there anything you'd like to import into New Zealand? Is there some good acts that we should listen to from Canada?
I feel like we don't really hear a lot about Canadian acts. They kind of get lost in the American acts.
Canada and America, same country. They sound the same, much like Australians and New Zealanders. Actually, if you ever do go to Europe, they automatically, if you start speaking in a Kiwi accent, automatically they say, "Which part of Australia are you from, mate?" Like, oh yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
so nothing that you can think of on top of your head. Canadian musicians.
Not at the moment. I think about it. Work on it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. The one that comes to mind for me, I believe she's Canadian. Would it be Avril Lavigne?
Oh yeah.
Shania Twain.
Her CDs and everything when I was 6.
Bryan Adams. There's some really good Canadian musicians out. Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell is Canadian.
Love some Joni Mitchell.
And Shawn Mendes. Oh, that's good. Drake's Canadian. Rufus Wainwright. I love him. Do you know Rufus Wainwright?
No.
He's very I'm going in the town and already been let down. It's like very almost Radiohead-ish. Feast is from Canada. The Guess Who. I'm just reading the list here. Justin Bieber is from Canada.
Yeah. That was the only one I knew, but I didn't want to say Justin Bieber.
What do you mean? Your favorite karaoke song? Give us your dirty secret. What's your favorite karaoke song?
I was talking about this with my partner in the car literally a few days ago. What was Fragile?
Shania Twain. Feel Like a Woman. Sticking with Canadian musicians here. No? Going once, going twice, sold to the highest bidder. What about any Neil Young? He's Canadian.
Nah, couldn't name some Neil Young too.
Okay, cool. Favorite Kiwi musician?
Kiwi? Oh, okay. We got this. Goodwill. There's
Goodwill.
A Tuesday.
Who's
you don't know Goodwill?
Nope.
Incredible. I think it was just nominated as one of the New Zealand Rolling Stone upcoming artists. Stunning EP. Yeah, There's a Tuesday, fantastic. Lavina, Becca Caffin, Park Road.
Yeah.
Can keep going.
Speaking of awards, now you're doing really well with your single "On My Mind," receiving some NZ On Air new tracks, Hot New Zealand
Oh, new
Songs
track.
Top 20,
Yeah.
Radioscope's
Yeah.
Kiwi Pop Playlist.
I know.
Congratulations!
Thank
What's
you.
life like since those awards?
Sorry?
What's life like since those awards?
Oh, I was just poured to sand. Poured. They're at my door right now.
I know they're at your door right now.
No, I mean, those are all great, but behind the scenes, it's still the grind. Like, you still got to keep putting out stuff for people to maintain interest. And it's hard. You always feel you got to one up yourself the next time. But yeah, just working on stuff.
Yeah, your music is sincerely beautiful. I mentioned to you on the internal chat, it's kind of like dreamy pop.
Mm.
Like it puts you in a dream state. If that makes sense. Like if I was watching a movie, it would be like the dream sequence music.
Right.
If your music was to be on a TV show like Grey's Anatomy or Schitt's Creek, I mean, where do you hear your music?
I used to imagine I'd be like, oh, this would be cool to be in Grey's Anatomy. I've gone more like within future releases, more kind of alt and production, a little bit more pop. So still those kind of layered elements, but less dreamy, I suppose. But yeah, I'd love to have stuff in film. That'd be cool.
Speaking of dream sequences, can you remember any vivid dreams recently?
I have a lot of these. I should start writing them down. Actually,
I do. I've kept a dream diary somewhere, but a lot of the time I'm either falling or eating something I shouldn't be.
Oh yeah. For ages, I had ones where I kept losing my teeth.
Oh,
really
losing your
teeth.
teeth.
The teeth are falling out. It's awful.
We have a few very loyal fans in the chat room now. I'm going to extend the question out to you. Have you had any vivid dreams recently? Welcome to the show. It's kiwiradio.nz, streaming every Tuesday, 7 p.m. New Zealand time. Thank you so much, Keely, for simulcasting this on your socials because it's worked. We have Ganeas Gomez in the chat room. Welcome. She's saying, "You're awesome, Keely." Gnezio is in the chat room saying, "On My Mind is literally so gorgeous and I love your music." Keels with a big heart and sparkles.
Love her.
Beautiful. On My Mind will be the final track for this segment with the very talented Keely Shade. But right now, right here, right now, we have the song called Give Me Time. We'll play it right now and then we'll be back with the artist in the hot seat.
Walk down the hall, windows reflecting a stranger's face back at me. 5:23. Maybe I'd be stronger and I'd be taller than that guy. Give me time. Give me time. I jump off this ledge and get off this couch. I live in a house 10 stories high. Think I lost my way, so I'm not about to face her.
Give your time and love to the beautiful and talented Keely Shade, who is joining us today. Big hello to Max Earnshaw for joining the chat room, and Ganesia, your biggest fan, saying, "Oh, hot fire. This video is hot fire." There we go. Welcome back. How are you feeling?
Right? This is so fun for a Tuesday night.
It is fun. We try and make it fun, and we're here every Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. New Zealand time. Straight after the show as well, we play a Kiwi music playlist from 8 to 11 p.m. every weekday, kiwiradio.nz. It's the only website that I know that dedicates its energy to Kiwi music. I'm sure there's many more, but I just haven't been all over the internet yet. Do you have any favorite Kiwi music websites, Keely?
Oh, and the musician and Hairway Mag, and I love DRM's little emails they send out about stuff that's going on, new releases.
Yeah. Yeah, you really got to have your finger on the button with stuff, and I'm so glad that we've crossed paths tonight. And every now and then, a shining star just crosses your path and brightens your day, and it certainly has today. We won't forget Madeline as well, equally talented. We try and match up the acts a little bit each week as well. We've got a country music special coming up. We've got a rock special coming up. So yeah, good times. And Keely Shade, I'm glad you're having a great time here today. Well, that's pretty much the show. Now, on my mind, we're playing the video in the background. The video is beautiful. Who filmed it?
Who filmed it? So it's directed by Alex Matthews, shot by Sarah Cullen, and produced by Oliver Chessiter, with some help from Paul Mockridge as well.
Give us some behind the scenes stories. Did the film, like the product looks amazing, but was there any bumps along the way in terms of filming this particular video?
So all the stuff you see by the like the river with the mirror, that was incredibly difficult to do. Involved Alex literally standing. That's like not CGI. That's actual. She was standing in a river holding the mirror and trying to position it, and then I had to position myself and the camera to move and focus. And just the struggle of making a music video in general. Deadlines and
struggle is real.
Struggle is real.
But the outcome is so like glorious and amazing, and so we're extremely lucky. What's next for you creatively?
Next, through lockdown, I wrote a lot. I've heard a lot of people were really stuck. I don't know why for me. I was suddenly able to write like 12 songs. So it's literally in the process. I realized I need to kind of just focus on one at a time, otherwise I keep starting new things. So we have the single on the way that I mentioned earlier. Just join. The secret is it's called Restless. Out in November, and then carrying on from that, there'll be a few more following up.
Where are your main socials for all this?
Main social right now is Instagram. I need to go to TikTok. I'm kind of scared of TikTok.
I do not want to touch TikTok due to some of the scandal behind it. I don't know who's watching me with that one, but let's just say that much. No, I've stayed away from that one. My favorite is just the video channels. I find that video just hits the spot for people. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that, and also radio. So tune in kiwiradio.nz, upfm.co.nz, as well as our sister radio station. Now, let me tell you a little bit about UpFM. Quick plug. They are a full spectrum dance station. So techno, trance, drum and bass, all that good stuff, except Tuesday, 7 p.m., we hijack it with all genres. The only criteria is they're from New Zealand or their dad's from New Zealand, in Keely's case. New Zealand related somehow. But that we're kind of loose on that because sometimes we do get international guests. Like we had John Norris from France. We had a couple of European acts, American acts, all sorts of goodness. So a little bit loose. So either Kiwi musicians or like indie or cutting edge, something like that. Yeah. Not getting Justin Bieber anytime soon. So if Justin Bieber emails me, you do not fit the criteria, my friend. What are your favorite radio stations? What do you listen to? Or do you listen to radio, or are you more of a podcast person, or are you more of a streaming person? How do you consume music in 2022?
When I'm driving, I listen to ZM. And at work, sometimes if I'm not having to listen to people talking, I can just play music in the background through Spotify or YouTube. Just great. Just track playing, check on a song.
My claim, my claim to fame with mainstream radio is The Edge. I sung a song for the Lynx campaign. We spray a bit, we spray a bit, we spray a bit more. With Lynx for men, you're bound to score.
Oh my God.
Fragrance that lasts and lasts and lasts. Gets rid of smell less so fast. Lynx for men is great when you're out on a date. It keeps your head cool even when it is late. It's 10 out of 10. Deodorant Lynx for men.
Remember
yeah.
You're a jingle guy. I've never met a jingle guy.
I'm not a jingle guy. I actually made that on the way home because they wanted people to call in and basically like try and get the number quotation of the Lynx air hostess. And I'm like, no, I'm going to sing something. So I was like frantically writing in the car, and then I rung up and I got in. And the good story, the fairy tale story to that is I won an all expenses trip to the Gold Coast.
That's the win. Well done there.
What about you? Now, you've been on NZ on air. What's your highlights for your music career?
Highlights. So in May, played at the Winter Garden, which was very cool. So Max, who's my guitarist, he won a grant, kind of music and venues grant, or a Young Gig Makers grant. And so he worked together on organizing that. We got Haven and Benjamin Mackin, and it's a gorgeous space. I don't know if you've been to the Winter Garden. It's under the Civic.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Very wide stage.
Yeah.
So that was so awesome. Play full band set there, and it was like live streams and everything. Unfortunately, I'd recovered from COVID like 2 days before. So that was kind of a bummer, and not as like great as it could have been, but just the whole experience was amazing.
Any photos of that whole experience?
There is, yeah, photos on Instagram.
Go to Instagram right now. Tell us your Instagram page. What's your handle?
Instagram is Keely with 3 E's. KEELEY .shade. S-H-A.
Say kia ora to Keely. Tell her you heard her on kiwiradio.nz. Do I have any more questions? You've got a beautiful guitar collection in the background. Do they have names?
It doesn't have a name, actually. Shall we name it? I don't know.
Yeah. What
What
model
would
is
you say?
that for? I'm sure there's a few guitar heads listening right now. Is that a Gibson?
That is a Les Paul Custom Pro in Alpine.
And what's the one on the left?
That's a bass.
That's a bass guitar.
Yeah.
A bass. That's the brand is bass guitar.
Bass.
Yeah.
Not my bass. I don't know much about it.
To me, I've like shooted out like all the bass guitars, and they all sound like a bass guitar. I don't know, but yeah, guitars obviously have their own vibe, but bass guitar. Now, with your music, are you producing it all, or what's the story? Tell us a little bit about the production of your music.
Yeah. So before I released my EP, I kind of essentially taught myself how to use Logic, how to produce, because I didn't learn that in uni. But going through art school, I had to do everything myself. You make everything yourself. And so I kind of have this philosophy where it feels like if I'm giving my song to someone else to produce and to actually physically make, it feels less like mine. Like I feel like that's a big part of the sound, and I try and make production part of the songwriting. And so this is the EP, which I kind of was quite collaborative. Like it has a bit of help on that. But it's been kind of years since then. I've been practicing a lot and doing a lot of production on my new songs, and I've gotten it to a really exciting place, and I get heaps of enjoyment out of doing that, and would love to do it for other people as well. Yeah, it's just so fun mixing and creating sounds. And yeah.
You're so amazingly talented. You can tell I'm purposely extending the interview because it's close to the end of the show. But what I wanted to say was, so yeah, there's some great things happening for Keely Shade. And you mentioned you've done a lot of writing since lockdown. What was keeping you up at 3 a.m. in the morning? Give us your top 2 topics.
Topics?
Yeah, like what are you writing about? Are you writing about burning your bacon too soon? What are you writing about?
So I guess one thing is being in lockdown in your 20s is feeling very stuck and like you're losing a lot of time. I think a lot of what I make is kind of about time, either wanting more time, feeling like you're rushing towards something or stuck in the past. Also, through the last 3 years, I've kind of been dealing with like my parents' divorce and I guess changing flats and just growing up and all of that stuff. So, and friends and yeah, just life.
Wow.
Lots to write about.
Keely, I feel for you. There's some real depth in your songwriting. I was mentioning earlier, your voice has this real quality that's so shivering. Like it's like instantly makes you sad, but in a good way, like, like comforting sad. And that's because, yeah, definitely. I've had a few days, like that.
Mhm.
And it's nice to hear a piece of music that you relate to and you kind of go, that's so beautiful, seeing beauty after the fact of something going through such trauma and things like that. And the light at the end of the tunnel, I always say for anyone that's going through that is every day is like the weather, like there are, rainy days, there are sunny days, especially in my 20s. I feel like I totally relate when I was in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now, almost 40. Disclaimer. And in your 20s, you do have that sense of rushness, like there's a deadline. And I find that in my early 30s, there's a time of reflection of gratefulness, if that makes sense, and keeping your cards. It's almost like in my 20s, I was trying to please everybody. That was my goal in my 20s, is to please everybody. Like I would go to a club and spend all my paycheck shouting drinks to random strangers because I thought that's how you made friends. And then in my 30s, there's this really great saying, you become an average of the 5 closest people to you. And I started culling the people, and I noticed that I started strengthening the closest 5, and in a way, because I was spending quality time with the 5 closest connections, they became so strong. And then it's almost like, yeah, my 30s was another recovery stage, self-recovery stage, and gratefulness really kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And then really later on is when you start a family, you do the settle down, and you have a kid.
Yeah.
When you have a kid, boom, that's really, like when I had a kid, he's one now, my happiness level like tenfold.
Oh,
My first album was about a girl in my mid-20s, and I thought she was the forever girl, but she wasn't. She emailed me and shot off to Ireland without telling me. And that's how
that's
my first album came about. And interestingly enough, the first album's done the best.
exactly. You need those like raw, real moments to write
Yeah.
things with substance, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, because now I'm just making beats or something, like I'm like, what do I write about? Yeah, I'm too happy. Damn it. So yeah, that trauma that you've been through, and really, your voice is so honest. Your voice is so powerful, and so well done on that.
Thank
like
you.
I said, it's like a comforting sadness.
Oh.
So that is the end of the show. I've given you 5 kudos and all the compliments in the world.
Yeah.
Certainly well deserved. But yeah, chin up. You're an amazing person, Keely, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to people.
Yeah. On my mind, before you go, give us a little backstory about it.
Oh, that's right. On my mind. So that was about having a connection with someone and it being this really intense, special thing, but ultimately never going anywhere. And obviously that sucks. But then you get to a place where you're like grateful for the experience, and it's those experiences that build who you are ultimately. Like if you don't go through that, you don't take away something. You don't learn about yourself. You don't learn what you don't want and what you do.
Wow.
And about what you bring to experiences. That fantastic experiences aren't necessarily just about that person. It's about how you were in that time.
Can I ask you, in the scale of spirituality, where do you sit? Because you've said some really. Yep.
I'm not like a religious person. I'm very open to kind of, I think, like manifestation and karma. And if you're giving out positivity, you see positivity.
Yeah. The reason why I asked that is I personally believe in personal angels, and I think angels can cross your path. It could even be like 3 seconds of interaction, like a minute, and or it could be someone that's ongoing or repetitive. And yeah, I feel like in a way, Keely, your music is like an audio version of an angel, like because it heals so well. Like when I heard that second song, it just really took me back to some days, and I'm like, wow, okay, there's some really real beauty in the world, and you know what I mean. So,
oh, that's so gorgeous to say.
Yeah, no, I don't say that lightly. Kiwi Music is in the chat room saying thanks. Looking forward to the new songs. And Gnesia is still here saying, I agree. Thank you for being here, Gnesia. We've turned into a talk show now. I do that sometimes. I don't know. I get a bit chatty because sometimes, mainstream radio, they're like, have you heard those mainstream radio shows where they have an artist? Hi, welcome to ZM. And yes, my life is great. I live in a 5-level mansion and I have a pool and my new song is out. My new song is out and it's just so amazing and I'm so amazing. But here at kiwiradio.nz, we get to hear the rawness of our musicians. We get to hear the trauma, the backstory, and in a way that it makes the music so much more powerful. So
and interesting. I love to hear about how songs are made.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like a campfire person, really. Have you been to any camp? We are wrapping up the show very soon, by the way. So leave your final comments right now. You have 10 seconds to ask Keely Shade anything you want. Do you have a question for our guest today, Keely Shade? You have exactly 10 seconds to put your comments in. Have you done many radio interviews?
Not radio. I did one interview with, oh my gosh, that's so bad. I've done one interview.
A what? Sorry?
I've done one interview before.
Okay. Did they ask you these kind of questions or was it more?
Similar.
Okay.
Kind of like the background, how I got here.
What was the most interesting question out of that interview?
Oh my gosh.
And is it online? Like, can we hear it?
Yeah. I'll find the link for you.
By the way, while she does that, head over to Keely Shade on Instagram. She's also on YouTube. If you type Keely Shade, Keeley, Shade, go check her out. You've got a little.
Found it.
You found it? Great. Where is it?
It's called A Muse. It's on YouTube. I've just sent you the link.
Awesome. Let me just quickly copy paste that. So here we go. A Muse, episode 17, Keely Shade, Showcase Honesty Experiment. So if you type that on YouTube, there's the here you are.
2 Keelys.
There's 2 Keelys. Do you have a twin?
I don't, but maybe I should. Look at us.
Do you have siblings?
I have one sister. Her name's Rihanna, and 2 half sisters who are over in Canada. Shout
out to you. Also, shout out to Marie Lash saying fabulous Keely. Fabulous Keely. So anyways, go check out that interview. A Muse, Transforming Lives Through Music, Waiuku College Music. There we go. Is that a different room?
Yes, that's my old flat.
Oh, what's moving like for you?
No, we're in the future.
Yeah, now we're in the future. What's moving? What's moving like? What's your moving strategy? If you were to move house, what's your strategy?
My strategy is have my dad demand that he's helping move me and then come and move all my stuff for me.
Awesome. Hey, one final question. Famous last words. If you had any piece of advice to anyone, what are your famous last words?
Don't let what you see online, on Instagram, and in terms of people getting funding, tell you how valuable what you're doing is. That you just gotta keep chugging along and doing your thing. And if you're focusing on what you're doing and what you love, that's gonna get you there.
Yeah, that's amazing. I went to, I believe it was Italy or Spain. Now, I'm not a historic person, but it was like the Gaudi house. Actually, let me just quickly look it up. Have you heard of the Gaudi house?
No.
Now, Gaudi, the house museum, is located in Park Güell in Barcelona. It's an historic home museum that houses a collection of furniture and objects designed by Spanish architect Antoni Gaudi. The story with Antoni Gaudi is he actually became insane because his art is so beautiful and intricate. Like that's what he spent his hours on, 24 hours a day. It was like 28 hours a day.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I just thought.
Yeah, 28 hours a day. He would just like work on this house. But it was so beautiful. And I'm sure
you would go insane, wouldn't you?
Pardon?
You would go insane, wouldn't you?
No, but what I'm saying is I bet you Gaudi's not on Instagram. He's actually like historic, by the way. He's pre-internet. Do you have any pre-internet memories?
Pre-internet? I mean, yeah, going to the park as a kid. I remember when Facebook came about and when I was allowed to get Facebook.
Ooh. I just remember that really annoying modem sound, like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the really cool thing is I've heard that sound on like techno songs and stuff, and I'm like, that is cool. Do you sample in your music, or are you into sampling?
Yeah. So I use a thing called Splice, and
Splice. I love Splice.
Stuff from there.
Yep.
And I'll like record stuff and alter it.
Yeah.
That's what me.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So, Anyways, I could talk to you for hours. I'm sure. Just send me an invoice. Your hourly rate. Now, you're amazing. Where can people buy your music, Keely Shade? Is it Bandcamp?
On Bandcamp's a good one. It goes directly to me. iTunes, Apple Music. I haven't really checked Apple Music out, but it's there.
Give us your Bandcamp. What's the
My Bandcamp?
Yeah.
I think if you just search Keely Shade on Bandcamp, it should come up.
Let's do that now. So everybody that's listening, chuck her a buck or two because
it's Bandcamp Friday. This Friday as well. I think it's a Friday.
Oh, Bandcamp Friday. That means all the proceeds go to the artist too, right?
Yeah. So if you wanted to buy a song for your phone, for your car, something.
There you go. There's the plug there. Bandcamp rules, says Kiwi Music. Yeah, I love Bandcamp. I love the koha behind Bandcamp, and they have a very generous sort of percentage for artists.
Yeah.
Or in this case, Bandcamp Friday is like 100% to the artist. And who's Kiwi Music? He's copy pasted your Bandcamp on your.
So great. He's just always there.
Who are you, Kiwi Music? Who are you? No, thank you so much for everyone joining. That is the extended interview with Keely Shade. I did ask if anyone had a question, and I gave them 10 seconds, more than 10 seconds, but I think they were just busy. I don't know. Maybe they're just in their pajamas listening, and they're like not near a computer. But we thank you anyways for joining us. We're going to outro the show now with Keely Shade's track called On My Mind. Thank you so much, Keely Shade.
Thank you
for being on the show. Very excited to hear your new music coming up. Please stay in touch.
Mm-hmm.
That's the show, everybody. Keely Shade, well done. On My Mind is the track. Thank you for being on the show. What a very talented person and a beautiful angel. KiwiRadio.nz.
Come to the junction, he asked what's my function. Let's not have this debate. I saw the future, we're gonna be late. Move layer from layer, I think I might stay here. And I'd appreciate if you stayed too. Past brickwork that matches the stale face reactions of those that I've met before. Hands in warm pockets and eyes glued to the floor. While I was retrieving some light that was leaving a space between two walls, I saw the future and erased it all. Yeah, I erased it. Yeah, I erased it. Yesterday we were talking, felt something inside me move. I said some vulnerability won't kill me or anybody in this room. Yesterday we were laughing like we found our innocence. Suddenly in front of me I saw a house under a tree behind a white picket fence. Still, you throw it all away. Your night not yet turned today. To me, your glass was never stained. My eyes, they cut right through the pain. Still, we're banking on the down. We're betting on the high. Walking and out of night. You're on my mind. Yesterday we were talking. Felt something inside me. Said some vulnerability won't kill me or anybody in this room. Yesterday we were laughing like we owned our innocence. Suddenly in front of me I saw a house under a tree behind a white picket fence. Still, we throw it all away. Your night, not yet turned today.
Kia ora, and that is the show for this week. Big, huge thanks to both our guests for joining us today, Madeline and Keely Shade. If you would like an MP3 download, that's for free. You can listen back to this episode at kiwiradio.nz. On the front page, you'll see all our weekly episodes. We are back next week, same time, same channel, 7 p.m. Tuesdays. That's on kiwiradio.nz and simulcast on upfm.co.nz. Coming up on the show, we have New Zealand musicians Coral Pitcher, Thunderground, Laura Jane, Sam Cullen, Anxiety Club, Aaron O'Connor, love him, he's a good country musician, Imposter Syndrome, Brent West, Melting Faces, all sorts really. And we have a country special, we have a rock special. Yeah, good times. Thank you everyone for joining the show. I've been your host, Ralphie. Stay cool, stay creative, and thanks for listening in. Hope you have a great day. See you.